Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and I've got another narrated Pokemon battle. So this is a battle against Gamer MZ, and this is going to be an OU battle. Looking at my opponent's team, my opponent has two possible Megas. I think looking at it is probably Mega Blastoise that he's bringing. But we're going to bring our Landorus out first. The main reason is because the only thing my opponent has that actually threatens out Lando is the Blastoise. So looking at that, yeah, Lando's a pretty good lead here. It can threaten anything here. So that's what we're going to do. Bring out the Lando, and my opponent's not going to stay out here with Lando here. Of course, Mew possibly could threaten Lando too, because it could have Ice Beam. But we're going to play aggressively and just pop the Z move right off the bat first turn. I actually expected my opponent to switch, not stay in, because Heracross against the Lando is not that great of a matchup. I was like, I'm going to go ahead, pop my Z move, and take anything that comes out here. Of course, the Blastoise ends up coming out, and we're going to hit this thing really hard, and it ends up taking it out. So right off the bat, my opponent's going to lose the Mega Blastoise, and we have a really nice turn one right there. Lando has already claimed a victim. So now the Klefki is going to come out, and that thing's going to set up a Reflect. There's not much I can do to stop that. I'm actually going to set up Stealth Rocks. The main reason is if my opponent wants to defog them away, my opponent's going to lose those, the Reflect and the Light Screen as well. So instead of going for defog, my opponent's actually going to go into Mew. And that's actually a pretty good switch because, of course, Earthquake's going to be super effective, and my opponent does not want to lose that Reflect at this point. So my opponent's going to send out the Mew, and I'm going to go Earthquake. If I get some sort of damage on Klefki, it's going to be nice, and Mew takes that very well. So most Mews I've seen are actually defensive. I've battled Gamer MZ before, and I know this Mew is actually a Rock Polish Nasty Plot set. So I'm going to actually go into Rotom because Rotom has pretty decent special defense, and my opponent's going to go ahead, pop the Z move that this thing has, and it's going to end up hitting me with a Supernova Genesis. So this is actually a pretty cool move that Mew has. It actually activates a Psychic Terrain as well, and it does a lot of damage. So it's going to completely annihilate our poor Rotom Wash that just came in here just to take one in the face. That's very unfortunate. I was hoping Rotom Wash would do a little bit more. Of course, that was a crit. I'm not sure how much the crit mattered. That is a pretty powerful Z move there, and it just came out of a Mew. So yeah, I don't know. I'd have to calc it to know for sure. But we're going to go into Tapu Koko. The main reason is I want to have the terrain not Psychic Terrain, just in case I need to use some sort of priority. And I'm going to have my Tapu Koko here. Tapu Koko is going to take one of those and hit back with a Thunderbolt. And that's actually very nice that we don't have the Psychic Terrain to worry about, because that would have made Psychic do more damage. So now my opponent's going to go back into the Klefki. I'm pretty sure I know what my opponent wants to do here. Set up the Light Screen. Like I said, once Klefki is on the field, you can't stop it from doing whatever it wants to do because it has the Prankster ability, and with those screens up, whatever screen it needs up, it actually has some decent bulk. I'm going to U-turn out. I don't want to stay in. I have U-turn on this Tapu Koko instead of Volt Switch, mainly because of ground types. But I'm going to go back into my Lando here. And Lando, like I said, threatens Klefki pretty hard. If I can get some sort of damage on Klefki, that's going to be nice. Of course, my opponent does have this Hawlucha, which is immune to Earthquake. And I'm just going to U-turn out, expecting Hawlucha to come in. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, and that means I can bring in anything I want on this Hawlucha. And I'm going to actually bring in my own Hawlucha. The main reason is because I've got the Electric Seed, and with that Unburdened boost, I'm going to be faster. So that's going to be nice. We're going to hit this thing pretty hard, and we don't quite take it out. But we actually end up popping its berry. So now we both have the Unburdened boost, and it's going to come down probably to a speed tie. My opponent's actually going to go for the Swords Dance, trying to get that attack up, and that Reflect has finally went away. That Reflect's actually working out very well for my opponent. It made it where this thing survived the acrobatics, and that's kind of a bad thing here. I'm going to go into my Excadrill. I don't really want to lose my Hawlucha. I know it would come down to a speed tie, and I don't trust that my Hawlucha would win that speed tie. So I'm going to try to sack something off. That way I could bring in my Pinsir. I do have quick attack on my Pinsir, so this thing's Unburden boost wouldn't matter. Plus this thing's very weak to flying type moves, and Mega Pinsir has that beautiful, beautiful ability that turns quick attack into a flying type move. So that's what we're going to try to do here. Bring in our beautiful Mega Pinsir. This is actually a really good Mega. I think Mega Pinsir is probably up there as one of the best. But we're going to go ahead, get that nice Mega Pinsir in, and just quick attack. And I'm not going to let this Hawlucha stick around because it's already causing a lot of havoc for my team. So we get rid of that thing. And now the Klefki will come back in. And like I said, if Klefki's on the field, it's going to do whatever it wants, no matter what you try to do. And it's actually going to go ahead, set up that Reflect, because, of course, Mega Pinsir is a physical attacker. What I'm going to try to do here is actually go for a Swords Dance. So maybe if I set up enough, I can do enough damage that the Reflect doesn't really matter that much. But my opponent's actually going to go for the Thunder Wave. So I'm hoping that that doesn't end up hurting me too bad. I do have quick attack, but I really need a return to, you know, hit through these Reflects as hard as I can. But now we've got 2 Swords Dances up. Of course, we are paralyzed, and I'm going to go for Earthquake. I'm hoping this actually does a lot. I'm not sure how much this will do. The Reflect is up, but we are at +4, and that ends up taking out the Klefki. So yeah, Pinsir is actually doing pretty nicely here. We do have to worry about that Reflect being back up, but now Victini is going to come back out, and we're going to just quick attack it, because I know Victini is going to outspeed us if we don't, and we don't quite take it out, so that's kind of a problem for us, especially now that Pinsir has taken that Searing Shot, and we'll go down to it. So, we're having a little bit of trouble here, especially with that Reflect. Even at +4, that Reflect is really helping out my opponent. We're going to go back into Hawlucha. I know Hawlucha should be faster, but this thing actually outspeeds Hawlucha, so from that, it's very clear that this thing is actually Scarfed. So I'm going to go Acrobatics. That Reflect's actually going to keep this thing alive, so I don't want to lose Hawlucha. Hawlucha's my best bet for that last Pokemon, which is the Heracross. We still don't know exactly what set that Heracross is either. We still haven't seen that because it hasn't been out long enough. But I'm going to go into Tapu Koko. I need to sack something here, and looking at this, I think Tapu Koko's probably the best thing to sack off, and that's what we'll do. Of course, Tapu Koko won't even outspeed this thing anyway, because, you know, this thing is Scarfed. It will outspeed Tapu Koko with the Scarf. And now I can bring in Lando, and I'm hoping Lando can live a hit. This is a bulkier Lando, and we're actually going to live this pretty nicely. So yeah, we could just hit this thing with an Earthquake. Of course, we're going to get burnt, and that's kind of bad, because, of course, this is a physical attacker. But we're just going to Earthquake. This thing's basically at like 1 or 2 HP, and the burn won't matter. The Reflect's not going to keep it alive. So now my opponent's going to bring in the last Pokemon, which is the Heracross. And like I said, we still haven't seen what set this is. But I'm just going to go for Fly here, because it's actually the only move that I've got on my Lando that can do some sort of good on this thing. But yeah, this thing actually is going to outspeed us, showing me that this is going to be a Scarfed Heracross. So that's actually kind of threatening, but we go ahead, get that Fly. The Reflect is gone, so it's going to help us out. Of course, we're still burnt, but I'm pretty sure we should take it out, because even with the burn, this thing is super, super weak to flying types, and we do take it out with a Fly. So right there, we get the nice victory. Good game, Gamer MZ. We got a nice victory there with using Fly. We used Mega Pinsir, which is actually a really, really good Pokemon. I actually think it's one of the best Megas out there. But anyway, if you like this battle, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.